Howdy. Hello, friends. Happy Friday. It is May 17th. We're here. We made it to the weekend. We have to discuss the Uncle Howdy situation that is happening on Twitch yesterday, the mysterious stream that happened yesterday. I was watching it live, and so we need to discuss it. We need to break it down. If you guys are new to the channel, to the podcast, my name is Alex Lajas. Welcome to the Queen of the Ring podcast. If you're watching this on Twitch, thank you. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you as well. If you're watching this on YouTube, please consider subscribing to the channel. We are so close to 10K. Also on Twitch, if you are not, YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube channel. The goal is to get to 10K followers, 10K subscribers, and we are very close to doing so. We're so freaking close, guys. So thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching. If you guys want to send in a super chat to help support the channel, please do. It helps a lot. And also with Twitch, sending in bits. If you have any comments, concerns, send them my way. But let's break down this Uncle Howdy, Bray Wyatt possibly thing that's going on. Let me know in the chat, in the live chat, if you guys have watched it. I'm very curious to know what you guys think. What is the mystery behind all of this? But let's break it down. I've got some images to pull up because really, this has been going on for a while. During the broadcast of Monday Night Raw and SmackDown, there's been some glitches. And we've seen some of those glitches before with the Bray Wyatt, with the Fiend character. So we have seen it before. But it seems as though the presence of the Fiend is returning. And with the presence of the Fiend, he takes over different bodies, right? He's taken over Bray Wyatt. He's taken over Alexa Bliss. So it seems like he's coming back, being resurrected, if you will, to this new form, to this new outlet, I would say. And so there have been plenty of glitches, and also on NXT as well. Thank you very much for that. Over on the in the chat, thank you. And also on Twitch, on NXT as well. And there's been a lot of QR codes. And for months now, everyone has been breaking it down. There's been certain images that have emerged from these QR codes. There's been different various messages that have occurred. And so what does it all mean? What does it all mean? We still don't have the answers of what this all means. This does relate to the Fiend. This all comes back to the character of the Fiend. And so I believe it was Monday Night Raw was when we got this image. This was the image that we received. And it is a floppy disk. Now, for, those that were not born, I guess, in the 90s, or really the 80s as well, that green little disc, that square disc, is called a floppy disk. And that is what, I guess, our version of a CD-ROM, so to say, back in the day. But that is a floppy disk. And on the floppy disk, it has the date, May 16th, 2024, 4 p.m., which was the time that the Twitch broadcast went on live yesterday, with a plus sign and a witch. The plus sign and the witch, low-key, is kind of giving Blair Witch Project, sort of. And the footage that came through yesterday during the broadcast was giving Blair Witch Project as well. But this is the image that we received, and this was our warning, so to say, to look out on the WWE socials with the mysterious happenings that has been going around. Let me just take a step back when it comes to, take a step back outside of kayfabe. What they're doing right now with this character is genius. It is very, very smart to utilize these QR codes, to utilize a fan base that will dig into every single little tiny, like minuscule detail in everything. They know their fan base. They know that wrestling fans are going to cut deep within a any detailed information that really just isn't there, right? Like fans do it all the time. Fans always say, this person hates this person because they unfollow them on Instagram or anything like that. Like that's what the fan base is sometimes. They like to break things down, whether it's good or bad. And so with this in particular, I think it's very genius to do this because you have people more engaged into the TV shows, right? Like Monday Night Raw and SmackDown and NXT now, you're expecting a QR code. You're expecting some kind of glitch with an image and the symbols that they've been putting out with the birds, some Greek mythology as well. It's fascinating. And I think it's very, very smart for them to do this, especially in a day and age where it's it's so heavily driven with social media and the internet use. I think this is genius. I just thought the plus switch. I thought it was Twitch too. Oh well, now I know that it's Twitch, but the plus switch, I just something about it reminds me of Blair Witch Project. I grew up within that generation of the Blair Witch Project was extremely real back in the day, and this is kind of what it reminds me here. But yesterday they went live on Twitch and the title of it was just hello. It just said hello, lowercase, period. And it was very interesting the way that they start off the Twitch channel, the Twitch stream, because they started it off with just a regular showing of Monday Night Raw. They opened it up, glitched out. It was almost as if you were putting a VHS tape in and it was glitched out, and then it was an image of Vicky Guerrero. And and I watched it on my Twitch channel yesterday, twitch.tv/Queen of the Ring, if you're not following me there. And we were all like, what does Vicky Guerrero have anything to do with what's going on here? But Vicky Guerrero was up and she was introducing Kane, and then Kane comes in, and then that's when the glitches start. And it's distorted audio and distorted imagery. And then we get into everything that was happening within the Twitch streams, which was this. It glitched out and then it went into this image, which is an image of an empty chair, again, distorted video. And then we have the mirror. The mirror is honestly the most creepiest part of this image. It is very, very creepy. You have a little blanket to the side, you have a wall full of books, and throughout the whole time, it was possibly 5 to 7 minutes of just this chair. The image would be upside down, the image would be, again, glitching out, tons of glitches, and then it was this. Then the therapist shows up. There's a knock on the door, and it is the therapist. And this is the exact same therapist that we have seen in the WWE commercials that they used to air on Fox. I believe they were airing it around the time where I believe it was when Fox was first brought into SmackDown was first brought into Fox. And they used to do these commercials where these WWE superstars would go to therapy, would go to a psychiatrist. And I believe that is the same actress from these commercials, if I'm not mistaken. So she appeared, and congratulations to her. She got that bag. She got that bag, that WWE money. Good for her. The union is unioning. And she got another acting deal with WWE. And she is asking various questions. How does this make you feel? What are these images remind you of? Who's coming? It's like the coming of someone. And she tries to get some answers and she's not getting them. And there's a moment where she gets up and leaves, and then she comes back, and again it's breaking out to different images. We've got different images of Uncle Howdy. We got different images of a house, and those distorted images that we used to see with the Wyatt family when they were hyping up the Wyatt family back in the day. And they would have these images of being in the woods, being in the swamp, a house that sort of looked like that house from the match between Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt. Then there were static and the images that have popped up in the past with the symbol. I don't know what the symbol is. I can't really say. It almost looks like a male female symbol. Those like traditional symbols, and then there's birds on them. It's still a mystery. No one knows what any of this means. So I want to know your thoughts, especially in the live chat. What are your predictions? What is happening? And does this mean that Uncle Howdy is coming back? Because I do think so. I think that it is a possibility. It's a Pluto symbol. Thank you. I think it is a possibility that Uncle Howdy is going to return. I think Uncle Howdy might return soon because it seems like they're getting really heavy with it. I mean, now that they've taken this outside of the live broadcastings of their television shows and they're adapting it into their Twitch channel, which again is very, very good. I'll say this. Listen, WWE does have a Twitch channel. And it was funny because yesterday on my Twitch when I was live and we were talking about it, there were some people in the chat that didn't even know that WWE had a Twitch channel, and they do. And during like Monday Night Raw and SmackDown, they try to do live watch alongs, and their viewership is pretty low compared to other streamers, independent streamers on Twitch that watch Raw and SmackDown. This live broadcast that happened yesterday on Twitch has had probably like 10K viewers, and that is honestly the most viewers that I have seen on their Twitch channel. So, in a marketing standpoint, when it comes to boosting your Twitch channel, they did a hell of a good job getting in those views yesterday. They got over 10K people watching this stream of just distorted images, and an image, like, for a while the image was just the chair. They had over 10,000 people watching this chair glitching out, upside down, various different images coming in, very creepy. It was kind of giving The Ring. Have you guys watched that movie, The Ring? It was kind of giving that in a way. And again, this is genius. Whatever they're doing, whatever they're setting up, whoever's going to come back, whoever's going to debut, whatever the case may be, this is genius. What they're doing is very, 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 very smart. And I'm really enjoying it so far. And it is giving me a lot of horror movie vibes. That is the reason why I fell in love with the Fiend gimmick, I don't want to say gimmick, but the Fiend character. I fell in love with him because he was essentially this Michael Myers-esque character, right? He wasn't killing WWE superstars, but his aura, his presence was creepy. It was very creepy, and I like that about the Fiend gimmick. I like that this was very horror based, and it seems like if they are resurrecting the Fiend character, embodying or taking over another body, taking over another entity within WWE, I think that they're doing a pretty good job so far. And this is giving The Ring, it's giving like Grudge, and I'm all for it. I am all for this. It is going to be very cool to finally see the reveal of what they have. I hope it is just as cool as everything that they've been setting up. I hope so. I really, really do. Because so far it's really cool. And then, you might get the reveal, and then it's like, oh, this is anticlimactic in a way in which WWE has done that. They've built something up and then it's been absolutely anticlimactic. It's happened before. Let's pray that this isn't the case. Alexa, I want to bring up your comment because this is really interesting. In the QR codes, 525 is very persistent. 525 is the date of King and Queen of the Ring, and it's also Bo Dallas's birthday. And that's also what I predicted as well. Bo Dallas might be returning as the Uncle Howdy character. I think that might be the case. I think he might be coming back as the Uncle Howdy character, carrying on the spirit of the Fiend. Possibly the spirit of the Fiend is inside of the lantern. That'd be pretty creative. If someone was going to carry on that character, I think that we can all agree that the most appropriate person to do that is Bray Wyatt's brother, and that is Bo Dallas. I brought up a question for my Twitch chat yesterday, and I would love to pass on the question to you guys, and I would love to know what you guys think within super chats or bits. Again, that does help the channel. And also, if you're watching this later on, tweet at me as well. Would you see WWE possibly within a good amount of time, not right away, not as soon as possible, but within a year or two, if we carry this on with Uncle Howdy and there's the spirit of the Fiend that still lives among us, could we possibly see WWE reusing or recycling the Fiend character the same as, there's various different Fiends, like a Fiend 2, a Fiend 3, the way that they do with Tiger Mask. With Tiger Mask, there are various different wrestlers who have put on the mask and they are Tiger Mask, right? It's always been a different wrestler portraying that character. Could we possibly see that with the Fiend? Either the Fiend or maybe Uncle Howdy. Could we possibly see any of those two happening? A lot of people kind of disagreed with that, but I'm curious to know what you guys think. Bear Hudson, thank you so much for the $5 with the super chat. Much appreciated. It helps me. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your support. I will tell anyone who listens, you are an irresistible force. You blaze a trail so other women can walk through. You are the light in place of darkness. Thank you so much, Bear. Those kind words mean a lot. Thank you. And yes, I would agree. The Fiend is a spirit that takes over a body. So I think that would be interesting to see them possibly have the Fiend come up and take over a body. Because that's what happened with Alexa Bliss, right? Alexa Bliss, like the spirit of the Fiend in some form, took over her entity, and she was the creepy girl that was on the swing with Lily, right? Like that was kind of the same thing. So I could see how the spirit of the Fiend could take over somebody's body. And I can also see Bo Dallas coming through with the Uncle Howdy gimmick. My idea for this, I don't know how they would possibly do this because she is very lovable. I wouldn't say that she's like a baby face now, but she's very lovable. I would like to see in some form Nikki Cross finally embodying maybe not so much the Sister Abigail character, but she could be the one that the Fiend has taken over. For a while, when Nikki Cross was in NXT and she was a part of Sanity and the Bray Wyatt character first came to life and we were in talks with, the Abigail character, a lot of people were saying that Nikki Cross could be a perfect person to take on that Abigail role, right? That unhinged character. A lot of people also said Rosemary from TNA, and I do agree with that. Could this possibly be the case as well? Would we see a Sister Abigail pulling up? Do we possibly see that as well? I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot to take in. There's a lot to take in with all this, and it's just at the end of the day, it is fantastic. It is genius. Whoever is behind the creativity of all of this is doing one hell of a job. And there's also notes. There were notes that were coming up with I don't even know. Like, it's just like handwritten notes. And even in the stream, the therapist was asking whoever was behind the camera, and I don't know who's behind the camera. Like, that's the thing. We don't know who's behind it. We don't know who is a part of this. The mirror in this image, I'll bring it up again. In this image right here with the therapist, the mirror is very interesting. The whole entire time I was watching it, especially with this shot right here where the therapist wasn't in the shot, the entire time I kept looking in the mirror because I thought that something was going to happen in the mirror. I thought that something was going to pop out, maybe a clue we were going to get. But the images have been very, very creepy. I'll bring up another image that we saw, especially on Monday Night Raw. Like, this image, definitely. That is freaking creepy. That is something out of the ring. Like, that is something purely out of The Grudge, The Ring. That is incredibly creepy. So what is it? What does it all mean? Who is coming back? Again, this is some horror movie shit. And that is what The Fiend always was, right? He was a horror movie entity. And that's why I loved it. I loved it so much. It's almost like a gimp mask. I would say that too. It is almost like a gimp mask. But I want to end this off with this image that we received. That is the image from the end of the stream. So the entire stream, they opened up with, Monday Night Raw. They glitched out, and it was the image of the chair. The therapist came through. She was asking a bunch of questions. There were different notes that came through. I would highly suggest, if you haven't already, going to WWE's Twitch channel. The VOD is still up. You can watch it. It's an hour long. It's like 55 minutes long. It's very creepy. But this image came up, and this is also another scary, scary image that they have. But this sort of looks like Uncle Howdy, doesn't it? It looks like Uncle Howdy, but I did see a couple people online on Twitter that said that this could possibly be a new mask. This design could possibly be a brand new mask that they might unveil, and it quite possibly could happen at the King of the Ring tournament that's going to come up, the event that's happening next week. This could probably be the case. This is fucking creepy. That is so creepy. What does that mean? What does it all mean? Again, this is going to give me nightmares. This is absolutely going to give me nightmares. And it looks like the old painting. Do you guys remember the old painting of the guy like like shocked with his hands on his face? I forget the name of the painting. It looks like that. It also looks like this Doctor Who villain, the Obe. I think it's called the Obes. It looks like that as well. Scream is also another bit. I mean, it possibly could be Ghostface as well. It could be Ghostface. Yes, the Scream. Thank you. It looks like that. Maybe we're going to get that. And it is Bo Dallas's birthday as well. We're going to have to look out on the King of the Ring tournament. We're possibly going to, be on the major lookout with that. But the King of the Ring tournament has been shaping up to be very, very good. It is continuing on tonight on SmackDown. My favorite matches so far that has happened is the Io Shirai, or Io Sky, sorry, not Io Shirai, Io Sky. Io Sky versus Shayna Baszler has been my favorite match so far from the series, from the Queen of the Ring tournament. I mean, Sheamus versus Gunther is amazing as well, but We're gonna have to see. And this is the hottest topic for me. Like this is something that I'm going to be thinking about all weekend. I'm curious to see if we're gonna get any more creepy QR codes or creepy images moving forward tonight on SmackDown. Anything could happen, but I'm curious to see how everything is gonna unfold, especially tonight on SmackDown. So we're gonna just have to see. We're going to have to see. I love what you guys are saying in the chat, though. I love that you guys are saying that because it's Bo Dallas's birthday next week, it could possibly end up premiering at the King and the Queen of the Ring tournament. So, interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. But I wanted to touch base on the Uncle Howdy stuff. Because it's honestly the most fascinating thing that's happening for me in WWE. Like, I'm so intrigued by all of this. And what does it all mean? I don't know, guys. What does it all mean? What does it all mean? Yes, NYC, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate that. Thank you for supporting the stream, friend. Much love. I just wonder how the Fiend Wyatt family will interact with the rest of the performers. Who will they target? Why? Will they build the fam or take over? So that's a good question. There's enough room on the roster to have a scary gimmick again, right? I think with this Fiend Wyatt family entity that's going to come up, I think, well, first I would say that this is something that could branch out to both promotions. Actually, within NXT as well. Like, I could see some kind of interruption on Monday Night Raw, on SmackDown, and NXT, and other in some shape where, you know, a main event at NXT, the lights go out. There might be some creepy images that pop up in the Titantron, some red lighting, some fog, and then lights come up and nothing happens. Something similar to that in WWE on Monday Night Raw, maybe backstage. Jey Uso is preparing for a match. He's walking towards Gorilla, and then he runs into an area that's like a swamp almost with fog. I don't know. Get a fog machine. WWE, invest in a fog machine. It'll make things more creepier. But there's a lot of room. There's a lot of things to play around with. There's so many different characters that could be bothered from this, you know, like that could really throw some performers off. And you can also branch out to like the women's division as well, right? Like you can have some kind of scary imaging pop up during Io Sky's entrance with her poppy entrance with her banger theme song. Like an image pops up and interrupts the Titantron, or something with Chelsea Green. You could play around a lot with it, but I do wonder who they will target first. Does it make sense to target Cody Rhodes first, or should they target the King and the Queen of the Ring? If we are going to unveil this next weekend, does it make sense to target the King of the Ring, the King and Queen of the Ring first, since that is the event? Or do we target that event with Logan Paul and Cody Rhodes, that match that's happening? It's interesting, but there's a lot of room to do so many different things. There's so much room to play with different performers and not just focus on one, because this whole entire concept with the QR codes, with the glitching on SmackDown and Raw, it's interrupted everybody's position in the broadcasting. You know what I mean? Like with Kofi Kingston's entrance with the New Day, it's interrupted there, and there was a QR code. With Michael Cole talking to a camera with Pat McAfee right next to him, it's broken out into some kind of creepy image of a bird. And then there was something, I believe, that happened. I think it was in the back of a Liv Morgan promo, but even backstage, like the production that they have been playing around with on their TV, like there's so many different various ways you can go about this. There's so many different creative ways that you can go about this. And if they're uh you know image board, not image board, but if their inspiration is coming from horror films, which it seems like that's the case, this is going to be a lot of fun to see it play out. Hopefully it is fun to see it play out. And how is this going to affect Money in the Bank that's coming up, Clash at the Castle, SummerSlam? What do you guys think? It might be a bit of a stretch, but this is also what they're doing, right? Like all of your favorite podcasters, all of your favorite YouTube channels, even you guys on Twitter, on Facebook, wherever it is, y'all are breaking this down. Everybody is taking every single little tiny bit of what we are seeing throughout various different broadcasts on Monday Night Raw, on NXT, on SmackDown, and now online. We're breaking it down. We're trying to see what the image is, right? Like there was one day where a QR code came up and it took you to a link, and it was a broken down link with two different forms, and you had to cut it up and crop it. Like you are doing some kind of Nancy Drew shit. Like we are all the Charlie Day gif where we're in front of the board with all of the yarn that's connected here, that's connected there with the thumbtacks and the images and the maps. Like that's what we're doing now as a community, as a fandom. Like we are breaking it down. And I love that we're doing that. I love that we're getting more of it, and now it's branching out to the online on Twitch. I think it's genius. I think it's so much fun. So much fun. But that's a podcast, guys. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to break down everything that's happening with that, and it's been a lot of fun. I was getting ready for my Twitch stream yesterday on twitch.tv/Queen of the Ring. Every Thursday we watch Lucha Underground. We couldn't watch it yesterday, so we watched GCW versus TJPW. So definitely join us there on twitch.tv/Queen of the Ring if you want to watch some wrestling with me every Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern time. But I usually get ready for my streams around 3. I make sure that the alerts are good. I make sure that everything, is running smoothly. And I was on Twitch and I remembered the floppy disk, and I remember the time, and it was creepy, and I got in when it was just the image of the chair and it was glitching out, and I was like, what is this? This reminds me of The Ring. And now I guess we have 7 days to live. We all have 7 days to live, but that also could be the case too, right? There might be, we have 7 days until whatever this is reveals itself, maybe on SmackDown next week. Maybe that could be a thing too. So who knows? Who really knows? But this is fun. This is a lot of fun to connect with everybody, connect with you guys in the Discord as well, connect with you guys on Twitter and break it down. We've gotten so many different images of different birds and Greek mythology references. Could be the case. It could be the case. Ooh, thank you, Alexa, for this. The footage of Kane from the Twitch stream was from the July 8th, 2013 episode of Raw, which had the debut of the Wyatt family. Interesting. Alexa has been doing their homework. Thank you for that. So this does relate to the Wyatt family stuff. Some pretty good stuff. All right. Well, that concludes this stream. That concludes the stream. That concludes the podcast for you guys. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel. We are so close to 10K. That is the goal. And if you're watching this on Twitch, thank you for following. If you're not following, please hit that follow button. We go live on Twitch on Fridays, 12 p.m. Eastern time for the podcast. And then again on Thursdays, 6 p.m. Eastern time. If you're listening to this in your little ear biscuits through a podcast and video format, please give a 5-star review. It helps me get into the algorithm and all that good stuff. You guys can follow me on Twitter at Queen of the Ring with 2 G's, Instagram _Queen of the Ring. I just posted a new video about Io Shirai's time. Io Sky. I've been saying Io Shirai because I've been making this video, but it is any information. Did you guys know that Io Sky was in a death match? If you guys don't know that, check out my Instagram, check out my YouTube shorts because that's up there as well. Thank you so much, guys. I will see you very soon. Subscribe and take care of yourselves. Goodbye.